Hi, this is Tommy Halstead for Chess Flicks on YouTube and chessradio.fm podcasts. That's our website, chessradio.fm. This is a solution to the white to move rook, pin, and knight fork puzzle. And you may have seen it. You can pause the video if you want for a second in order to cogitate if you haven't done that yet. But what we're looking at right here is a rook pawn versus a knight ending. And the key move here, as you look at this position, is there's a knight fork on f7. But what you may not see, and we're going to flip the board in a second here so we can actually play out the ending, is White was dreaming here with white to move of a rook ending, but what's really going to happen is we're going to have a knight ending. Did you see that? That's the trick here. You can see that the knight has a fork on f7, and that is the key, but the fork is forking the rook and the bishop right now, but that's not the actual key move. The key is that you're going to not have a rook ending, but you're going to have a knight ending, and that's the difference with this position, and that's the takeaway. You have to look 2 or 3 moves ahead. When you see that there's a capture or a check or a tempo move, then that suggests look a couple ahead. So let's flip the board here and see what actually happened in the game. No, it is not a knight fork initially. That rook immediately sees the bishop there as an opportunity, takes the bishop, and of course, the king now has to move out of check. So king's only move here is to take that. And there you have your fork. Now it's a rook and king fork instead. And of course, there's nothing the king can do but to try to take the knight. And there you have your rook, which gives you your endgame after you take the rook. Of course, this endgame is not a rook pawn endgame, which means the knight has to be on the same color. Black in order to draw it. So all we see happening here, and we'll get the 2 engines both at 3,000 to go ahead and do this endgame quickly for us. And here's what happens. We chase the king around and we get to queen our pawn because that knight basically protected. And now you have a standard queen and knight endgame where the knight just holds off those 2 squares and you can checkmate the king without being taken. So that's our solution. It turned out to be a knight endgame to promote the pawn instead, and that's the takeaway. When you look at your checks and captures, it means that idea of, hey, there might be a fork here was the right idea, but it was a fork of the king, not a fork of the bishop and the rook, and that allowed you to take both the bishop and the rook. Thanks a lot again. This is Tommy Halstead for Chess Flicks on YouTube and chessradio.fm podcast website. And hang on to the side of the cliff. And thank you, Chuck Norris, for showing us that you're not scared in these scary times. If there's anyone you can count on today, it's Norris, right? Anyway, also visit teachingchess.com or teachchess.net for all our free courses that we have. We're a nonprofit, and the whole podcast system at Chess Flicks here on YouTube and chessradio.com is for you.